We'll talk about that in a minute. Number 4 was to train members of our small group committee to provide administrative assistance for small group leaders. The small group committee right now is myself, Becca, my wife Becca, Beth Model, and Helen Belbum. So we have 2 families running the church. So running the world. We're going to take it all over. No, if you would like to be involved. Yeah, well, the blind leading the blind. So if there are those of you who would like to be involved in this, we'd love to have you. The more the merrier. I think it spreads the work out a little bit. The purpose of our small group committee, it was in part to organize this level of stuff, to put the plan together and have an idea of what we're doing, where we're going, but also to help administrate the rest of it. Issues of who's in what group, who's the leader of that group, is that leader getting what they need, are they getting training that they need, are they doing, all those kind of things. The small group committees, it works on that. Each group has, we'll talk about this again in more detail in a minute, but each group has its own small group servant. So one of the members of the committee will be assigned to your group. So if you have a problem, so-and-so keeps talking throughout the entire group session and we can't get them to be quiet long enough to get a word in edgewise, and we've talked to them for the last 6 months and it's getting annoying. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Never mind. That's not administrative. If you need new Bible study materials, you just ran out of stuff and you don't know where to look, contact your servant person, your small group servant, and they'll be able to hook you up with that. If you want to know how to learn how to ask better questions so conversation goes well, talk to your small group servant, because they will hopefully have some training available for you, and we will work on putting that sort of stuff together. So those are the people, myself, Becca, Beth, and Helen are the people to talk to. And I'll get there in a second. You'll know in just a minute who specifically to go to. The next step was to find and train small group leaders to care for the small groups. That's y'all. We are working on doing that as we speak. So our hope for you is so that you will be able to go back to your groups and help them understand what we're doing as a church. So it'd be great if you have a meeting at some point, you can express to them, this is what our church is hoping to do with small groups. This is the sort of the philosophy that was presented, and this is the direction we would like for our groups to go. And so your group has a good understanding of that. So we're hoping you guys can pass that information to them so that they know what's going on, and to keep you able to do what you need to do to be good leaders. So that's number 5. And then establish and train small groups to care for one another. So you see how we're kind of starting from the top in the administration, train the administration, then train the leaders, and then the leaders can help us, and we'll train those groups as well. So that once the groups know what's going on, if they need help, they can go to their leaders. If the leaders need help, they can go to their administrator, their small group servant. So that helps sort of organizationally. So you see that plan in general, and there is an sort of a broad timeline. Norm, were you still on council when we did this, or not?
No.
Okay,
Well,
you've been.
it started.
Okay. I forget who's been gone for how long anymore. Our steps that near the end, second to last page, steps 1 through 3, the adoption of the mission statement, definition of small groups and organizational structures, were completed by council back in February of this year. Step number 4, training of the small group committee. We're sort of working on that, but the idea for that was this past spring. I've got a tool I'm going to tell you all about that's going to help us as a committee immensely. So we'll get to that in a minute. Step number 5, training of you guys, hopefully done by December. And what we're going to do here is we're taping this, like I said, then we're going to record it and put it in some form that we can just give out to the leaders who couldn't make it today, so that they can do this on their time and get this training as well. Make sure my microphone's on so that they're actually getting it. So hopefully by the end of December that'll be good. And step 6, forming our current groups into our new model. See, that's the important step that we're talking about, is helping the rest of our groups understand what we want from groups so that they are good, strong, healthy groups. Because if we start bringing people into, we may have the best outreach ministry in the world, but if we're bringing them into groups that, for example, if you've got to find a group that doesn't want new people, and you start putting people into that group, they're not going to feel very welcome, and all your evangelistic efforts aren't going to pay off. So or whatever. There's a lot of different reasons. But we want our groups to be good and healthy so that they have a good place to go to when we do start bringing them in. And that was hopefully by the end of this school year, we were talking about getting back to our groups and helping them understand what's going on. And then step 7 was to sort of have a big kickoff of our new small group ministry is up and running. So if you need a group, let us know. If you're not in a group, we're going to come and get you. We're going to get you in one and really push. So that hopefully we can start at the beginning of the next school year, the beginning of our new ministry season. So we'll see how we do. Those are goals. So take a look at this when you get a chance. And we're going to go here into some more detail about this to help you understand what we're looking at here. Are there any questions, generally speaking, about that plan? Okay.
I wonder if we have people involved right now that are like older and they're divorced or you know what I mean, Ben? Do we have a lot of people, like anyone doing, I suppose that you have to be a couple almost to be in a couple study, right?
Not necessarily.
I mean, I think we all have couples only though in Bible studies, but it shouldn't have to be that way.
We have some mixing in our group right now.
Okay. Good.
I mean, everybody's about the same age, more or less. But
I just want
we do
everyone
have,
to be invited and welcome.
But that is maybe an area that could be a small group.
Absolutely.
Bethel Reformed has programs for every ailment there is.
Yep.
And maybe we need to start a ministry or a group that would be specifically for singles that aren't comfortable.
Yep. So, and this is hopefully the idea with this organization here is to be able to let, frankly, I think if you allow those kind of things to go on a grassroots level, they work that much better. If you have 5 people in your church who are passionate to help divorcees or widows or something, you are going to get that ministry done so much better than council saying, we need a ministry to widows. So let's put a ministry to widows together, and by hook or by crook, we're going to find someone to do it. It works better coming bottom up than top down. But top down, we want to give them the structure and the assistance to make it work so that it's being done and it's being done well. But at the same time, we want to be able to, the job of a pastor is to train people for the work of ministry, to help them to be able to minister to each other. And so we need to give people what they need to free them to do what God wants them to do in their lives. That's what we're trying to do here from that perspective.
Along that line, there's a book called Apples of Gold, which is sort of a mentoring program where I was telling Carolyn, more mature women would invite younger women and they would do some cooking or whatever, and then the younger women would have a Bible study while the other women finished their meal, and then they'd eat together. Or this, say it was divorcees or alcoholics or whatever. Do we need to go through the, powers that be to approve starting those things? Or I guess that's maybe what hinders some things from beginning. Do we need, who are we under?
Let's look at this, and if I don't address that question in what we're about to talk about, bring it up again, okay? Because hopefully what we're about to cover, we'll cover that, and we'll give you the answer, okay? So, did someone else have a question? Okay.